May I introduce nakahabol po the Secretary General of the Philippine Medical Association, Dr. Mariano. Dr. Mariano, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Glad to make it despite the heavy rains at the NLEX, no? In Pampanga. Okay. We are all here because of our commitment to end dengue by 2030. We have here with us the Philippine Medical Association, together with the specialty divisions and subspecialty societies who will be working for this. I understand the 5 pillars were already mentioned. The 5 pillars with their corresponding specialty divisions and subspecialty societies of the Philippine Medical Association. The 5 pillars being the global and local epidemiology and threat, the vector control, the clinical management, the dengue vaccine development, and the communication and advocacy. The PMA have unified efforts and collaboration to end dengue by 2030 with the following specialty divisions as the core group. We have the Philippine College of Physicians, the Philippine Pediatric Society of the Philippines, the Philippine Society for Microbiology and Infectious Diseases, the Pediatric Infectious Disease Society of the Philippines, and we have also with us the Philippine Federation of Professional Association and the Council of Professional Healthcare Associations. The 103,000 members of the Philippine Medical Association present in the 17 regions in the Philippines with 121 component societies will be working together in collaboration with other government agencies, non-government agencies, and those having advocacy on ending dengue by the year 2030. We are also pleased to have with us our media partners, because this is very important in the information dissemination, which I believe will be the start of all these programs and projects. Thank you so much to the media people, and rest assured that the Philippine Medical Association will have its presence in this advocacy. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Doctor. Now we can begin with our Q&A. Sino po ang gustong, yun, okay. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon po. I'm Giselle Ocat from GMA News Online. Specific question for Dr. Lulu. Ma'am, you've been calling po for the FDA approval ng license ng QDENGA for years now. And Health Secretary Ted Herbosa said that last year, baka daw po i-approve na, but until now, wala pa po. So, ano po kaya yung, saan po kaya yung backlog nito? And ano po yung reason bakit hindi pa siya napapasa?
Ang sabi natin doon, na-apply na itong bagong bakuna since April of 2023. So 2 years na. Karaniwan, ang pagla-license takes about a year, plus or minus 6 months. Maalala nyo, yung Dengvaxia, from May to December, na-lisensyahan. Within 6 months. Ito, 2 years na, wala pa. Ako, bilang isang principal investigator nitong bagong next generation vaccine, anxious dahil talaga naman po mahigit ng 10 taon, baka 15 years na nanalaksikan itong bagong generation. Actually, marami pa pong nasa pipeline. Pero unti-unti yan sa pag-develop. And eto nga, sabi ko, ang tanong mo bakit? Pareho tayo ng tanong Bakit? Yung FDA natin, ang meron pong authority, regulatory authority, lahat po ng dapat magamit na gamot, bakuna, biological, dadaan po yan sa FDA. And yun nga po ang appeal ni binasa ni Captain Dr. Wow. Palakpakan niyo po si Captain. Tuwag-tuwa ako sa kanya kasi ngayon ko lang nakita talaga na ang ating military ay napaka-aktibo na. Di ba? Magandang signo siya na lahat tayo ay magsasama-sama. And correction lang pala, Sito, hindi namin tinetesting sa military. Pag ginamit sa military, ay sigurado na yan safe.
Yes, ma'am.
Hindi po natin ginagamit na pang-testing ang military. In
Okay.
fact, yan ang pinapangalagaan natin eh. Ang
Okay.
military natin.
Okay.
Kasi sila yung na-expose sa kagat ng lamok. Alam niyo po yung malaria vaccine sa military po na ginamit. Kasi sino po ang nasa combat?
Okay, follow-up question?
Ma'am, and for the record lang po, ano pong developments yung na-observe natin sa other countries that have been using these vaccine po? May mga improvements po ba sa dengue cases nila over the past year?
Actually, mahirap sabihin ang impact until after years. Kaya nga 5 years. We need at least 5 years to see the impact. Ayan ang sinabi ng WHO. Hindi yan ura-urada, binigyan mo ng bakuna ngayon, sabi mo, bukas hindi na siya magdinig. Hindi, kasi may seasonal variation ng dengue. It takes time. You will need to see the surveillance. Importante ang surveillance. Di ba yan ang ating first pillar? Pero sa Europa, ginagamit na yan as a travel vaccine. Anong ibig sabihin nun? Meron na pong pumupunta sa mga lugar na endemic na gumagamit ng bakuna. First dose, kasi 2 doses po yung dengue. First dose, tapos aalis sila. Pagbalik nila, which is 3 months later, would be dun yung second dose. Kasi yung po yung new dengue ngayon, dengue vaccine. 2 doses po yan, 3 months apart. So sa Europe po, meron nang gumagamit na kung pupunta sila sa Pilipinas at alam nilang may dengue dito sa Pilipinas, kukuha sila ng first dose, pagbalik nila, the second dose. At least protected.
Next.
Last na lang po from my part. Yung letter po na pinakita kanina for President Marcos, napadala na po ba ito sa Malacanang, ma'am?
Hindi pa po siya napapadala. It was drafted just this week and we have to sign it and send it right away through Dr. Erica also.
So basically po, this also the media coverage or the communications right now, it is for us to start our communications with Malacanang to our Honorable President. So basically, the letter was signed yesterday, and today and the following day, hopefully we can give it to the Malacanang. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next question.
Hi, good afternoon po. Bien Manalo from PTV4. This is for everyone po. Handa na po ba tayo maglabas ng bagong dengue vaccine?
Handa na tayo?
Handa na po ba tayo muli na maglabas?
Matagal na, since 2016. Since 70 years ago, kung pwede lang, may bakuna na.
Kasi po, may isang barangay po sa Quezon City na muli ikinukonsidera na magpakawala ng mga palaka bilang solusyon sa dengue, pagtaas ng kaso ng dengue. Ano po masasabi niyo dito, Doc?
Hindi, pwede bang gamitin yung palaka pag tanggal ng lamok? Sino ba dito ang entomologist?
I think they're not the authority.
Pero so far sa mga studies or researches at sa mga publications recent on dengue, parang wala pang na-mention.
Another question? Yan? Okay na? Okay, other question? Oh, there we go.
Hello, good afternoon po. Ed Kiosman po, Science and Digital News. Ma'am, meron pong yung 2019 naglabas ang Herbanex Laboratories ng isang tawa-tawa supplement. And it was approved as a food supplement by the FDA. Ano po yung masasabi niyo sa tawa-tawa po? Paki-explain na lang po kasi maraming gumagamit po, uminom yan eh. Salamat po.
Nabanggit ko na ang paggagamot sa dengue, ang pinaka-core, o pinaka-importante ay hydration. Lahat po ng mga nangyayari sa dengue may kinalaman sa either kulang ang tubig mo, sobra ang tubig mo dahil sumobra ang IV fluids mo, or huli ka na sa pagpapatingin na talagang marami ng na-damage na organ mo. Yung tawa-tawa po, may tubig. Kaya isa po sa napakaganda, and tanungin niyo po, si Dr. Florty nandun, siya po ngayon ang namamahala sa clinical management. At doon po sa Cebu, taga Cebu yan, ay meron na silang dengue warriors na binibigay na yung ano dapat gawin kung ikaw ay may sintomas na ng dengue. Alam niyo po kung ano? Uminom ng tubig. Uminom ng ORS para huwag ma-dehydrate. Tubig po is a very, very good way to restore hydration. At yung tawa-tawa po, hindi po kami naman nagsasabi na hindi maganda. Pero as long as may tubig po yan kasama, parang siya, tubig pa rin po ang nakakapagpaganda. Pero wala pong pananaliksik na nagsabi na yung pong tawa-tawa ay makakagamot sa dengue. Wala pa pong ganung pananaliksik. Meron pong mga pananaliksik na nagbibigay na tinatawag na antiviral. Matagal pa po bago lumabas yun. Kasi kailangan po no, ng mahabang mag-aaral pa rin. Pero I can assure you, tubig lang po.
Okay, next question.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good.
Sorry. Hi, good afternoon. I'm Patricia of Business World. I have a question now about the dengue vaccine that's for approval. I wonder if it's like safe for everyone. Is it safe for kids? Is it safe for those with comorbidities? Just more information about that book.
Tuturuan kami, pero si Dr. Rose Capeling po ay isa sa mga nanguna sa pananaliksik sa dengue vaccine. Siya po ang multi-awarded Dr. Jose Rizal Memorial Awardee sa research dahil 10 taon po niyang pinag-aralan yung dengue vaccine. Tapos anong nangyari? Diba? Alam niyo na yung nangyari doon. Ako po, sumali naman dun sa Qdenga. And ginawa rin po namin yan, 10 taon, wala po kaming nakitang signal na yan po ay makakasama. Ganun din po yung dengue vaccine. In fact, gusto ko ibalik yung nakaraan. Kasi marami tayong pinapakinggan ng misinformation and disinformation. Na maski sabihin ko po sa inyo ngayon, I assure you, sa 10 taon pong pag-aaral namin ng Qdenga, wala pong nakitang makakasama. Pwede po na mas mahina ang efficacy doon sa mga hindi pa nagkakaroon ng dengue. Totoo po yan. Dahil yung pong nagkaroon ng dengue, parang mas maganda ang efficacy, mas mataas. Pero alam niyo po sa bakuna, ang importante po is hindi kayo ma-ospital at hindi kayo mamamatay. Kasi kagaya po ng COVID, di ba? Pwede rin kayong magkasakit, pero hindi kayo ma-ospital o hindi kayo magiging severe. Kasi wala pong bakuna na makakapagbigay ng 100% assurance na hindi na kayo magkakasakit o hindi na kayo magkakaroon ng symptoms. Wala po ganun bakuna. Pero kaya po kami gumagawa ng pananaliksik upang ipakita na yan po ay hindi makakasama.
Okay.
Pwede lang.
Dr. Mariana?
Gusto ko lang mag-add regard Rose. Mag-add kay Dr. Lulu kasi na-mention mo for those na nagka-dengue na, no? So, maganda mas better ang efficacy. Pero actually sa mga those sa mga pag-aaral, no? May mga madaming pag-aaral na madami tayong mga tinatawag na asymptomatic, no? Or those with inapparent infections. Talagang walang pwede lang mild fever, pwede walang nararamdaman, pero it's about 50% studies yun. Ang iba nga mayroon individual study na 70%, but yung may recent study on parang global prevalence ang tinatawag asymptomatic. Walang nakikitang symptoms, but mga 59, almost 60% yun is walang manifestations, pero may dengue nakikerry siya ng dengue virus. So ito din ang in terms of tinatawag natin na mga seropositives, no? Maski wala siyang nararamdaman, pero kung kuhanan mo, pwede na ka-dengue na siya. Or for example, during this outbreak, pwede, like for example, it's a 1,000, pwede, or like 100, pwede 50% of those. Wala siyang manifestations, pero nakikerry siya ng virus. So, ito nga ang tinatawag several years ago, yung sa mga, of course, parang ilang years kami nag-aaral ni Dr. Lu in terms of dengue, no? So, may tinatawag namin yan na silent ticking bomb, no? Yung nakikerry ka ng virus, pero hindi ka nagmamanifest. So, pero naglalabas ka ng virus kasi kinakagat ka, so sinatransmit ng mosquito. So, tuloy-tuloy ang pag-spread ng virus sa community. Kaya it's very important talaga na kaunting nararamdaman, or actually maganda ng pag-studyhan dito sa atin sa PMA. For those, like for example, in an outbreak, tingnan natin doon sa malapit, or within the household, or within the community, tingnan natin, almost 50% will be positive for the virus.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you.
Hello?
I just want to ask, since there were alleged deaths caused by the infection back in 2018, what can we do to boost confidence in this new vaccine that's coming up?
Alam mo, gusto ko sumagot niya si Sito. Kasi kanina nagkukwentuhan kami, anong ginawa mo, Sito, doon sa mga nakitang namatay?
I'm supposed to be the moderator, not resource
pero
person.
maganda yung ginawa ni Sito.
But I got a copy of the DOJ study of the cases, I think 17. And I went line by line of every child that died. And I even used Dr. Google, Dr. T. Hindi ko kayo matawagan, so nag-Dr. Google na ako, no? They died of TB. They died of lymphoma. They died of bone disease, which tells you it is a serious nutrition deficiency. Lahat po nung nakalagay doon sa DOJ summary indicated only one had dengue. It did not even say it died directly because of Dengvaxia. Hindi ako defender ng Dengvaxia. But inisa-isa ko po yung study ng DOJ. And that's the facts of the case. That they died not because of dengue, but because of pre-existing diseases. Ano yung sa rheumatic heart? 3 of them had rheumatic heart disease. So that's the answer, my friend. There was someone who wanted to ask on the other side.
Hello. Good afternoon. Aaron Francisco from Business Mirror. So if cases continue to rise despite these efforts, what policy changes or additional government actions would the PMA recommend to strengthen the fight against dengue?
Our first step is starting this coalition, the End Dengue Coalition, that's empowering networks to defeat dengue. The PMA is the mother umbrella of all the medical associations in the Philippines, all specialties, all divisions, no? And for the part also of the PMA, it was mentioned, Sir Sino, during the media before, right? That if you wanted to announce something or make it known, you pass through the Philippine Medical Association, because the Philippine Medical Association would know where to direct all the concerns, no? Is it infectious? Is it cardiac? Is it medical? Is it surgical? So you can go direct to the PMA. We have our website, and if you have concerns. But this concern does not include those like if you're needing doctors to treat you, because our doctors are already assigned in all the hospitals in the Philippines, both private and government hospitals. So with that, and also the PMA can disseminate information mabilis, no? Because we have the group already, and we can also deal on misinformations, no? Aside from the awareness. Most important is the misinformation. We have doctors even to the barrios. We are present in the 17 regions, as I've said a while ago. So it will be easy for us to disseminate information.
Okay, just so our friends in media know, the PMA very recently underwent media training. The intention was for them to better understand your working parameters, ano yung mga kailangan nyo, and what Doctora mentioned, para hindi na tayo pumupunta ng kung sino-sino, sabi-sabi, etc. Go to the PMA first and ask them what the facts are. Ask them who you can interview para sa ganon, nababawasan natin ang misinformation. Yun po.
Alright po, so since nabanggit na rin po naman yung misinformation po, so could you please provide an examples of common misconceptions or potentially harmful beliefs about dengue?
On the vaccine, is it nakakamatay? No, I think that's the number one misinformation, no? Other signs and symptoms, clinical, Doctora, you can add?
So, may I add? So basically, under the communication and advocacy, I'll present that later in our 7 p.m. Presentation. We will be having this myths and facts about dengue. So I can tell you kasi later ko siya i-present. So there are lots of myths and facts about dengue. So it's like a World Health Organization myths and facts. But this one is about the misconceptions or yung mga mali nating paniniwala about dengue. So mamaya i-represent ko yun. And that will be like every month we have different types of myths and facts. So every Filipino, at least malalaman nila kung ano ba yung tama or hindi about sa dengue. Hindi ko lang siya ma-reveal ngayon kasi as part siya ng presentation later. But it has a illustration which is part of it's like mag-one, set up like that. So yun yung medyo iyan natin natin. So medyo sobrang Filipino style yung magiging myths and facts na presentation. Thank you po.
Okay, next. Any other question? Mukhang magpo-finish na tayo dahil kailangan nyo lang mag-report sa mga yeah. Okay?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Michael from Making Trends po. Na-notice ko lang, wala po yung Department of Health. So, ano po yung magiging role ng DOH for the campaign, coalition launch for the end dengue?
Yes, so basically for that, your question, of course, the Department of Health is also part of this. That's why we said government, national, international, and local partner stakeholders. So of course, the Department of Health is part of this coalition. That's why with the Philippine Medical Association just started the coalition. But of course, this is the start to disseminate the information and of course, iparating to sa Department of Health, to our government, to our stakeholders, the youths, and everyone. That's why our name, Empowering Networks Defeat Dengue, is not just the medical institution or association, it's everyone. And of course, sabi ko kanina, the media is part of it to send the information.
Okay, I'd like to emphasize what Dr. Davillo mentioned. I'm appealing as a fellow practitioner. Can we please get together and do what we can for dengue? My wife got dengue. My apo-apuhan got dengue. She now breathes through her throat because of that. And people are dying. We have friends who are dying. And I think we need to stop this. you, our friends in media, are the most powerful in this fight because you are the one who have the capacity to inform Filipinos. You are the one who have the capacity to influence policymakers and decision makers. We thank you for joining us today. We thank you for making time. At sana po ipagpatuloy nyo how to end dengue. Good day, God bless you.